Wow. Wow. What a afternoon. What a night of racing at Bahrain for the Sakhir Grand Prix. I can't quite believe I'm saying the words that Sergio Perez is a first-time race winner with Esteban Ocon in second place and Stroll third. And Valtteri Bottas and George Russell with the results here on this side of me. Eighth place and ninth for George Russell on a debut where he was in place to take a win twice. Not only once, but twice. I can't quite believe what we just watched. I'm so gutted. So gutted for George Russell. What a debut this should have been for him. What a debut it still is for him, because make no two minds about it. You know, whatever the case is, because still Russell's actually still being investigated by the FIA. I've just seen on my timeline, because one of the issues with Mercedes was a pit stop, and he ran a tyre that was outside his allocation, so he could still technically get a FIA hammer down and get disqualified or a penalty for this, and still could still actually end up not even scoring points on this Mercedes debut. But no matter what, today for me, and I think for a lot of people, he has shown well and truly that he is ready for that Mercedes seat when it opens up, and he is ready to be a front runner in Formula One and be a front runner for Mercedes, because the way he drove today was insane. He thrashed Bottas, okay? He absolutely did him. The move he did after the whole pit stop kerfuffle, where he was on a better tyre than Bottas and better tyres than most people, apart from Lance Stroll, who was on the same compound as him. That move he did, which was the Mick Schumacher move from F2. I was wondering if an F1 driver was going to pick a similar one where they effectively take it a little bit wide on purpose and then tighten up that left to switch it from right to left, go on the outside and effectively to the inside of that mini chicane before the last straight and the last corner. And he did it with some style. It was so close on the right-hand side of his car, and the speed he carried, the confidence he had up against a teammate that's been in this car the entire time. Of course, yes, I know Russell has driven Mercedes cars in the past, but this specific one, he hopped in on Friday. It looked good. Saturday, FP3 on the back foot a little bit, then brought it back in qualifying to be a few thousandths behind Valtteri for second place. Got a cracking start, was controlling the race. Then obviously the first mistake arrived with Mercedes, with that pit stop kerfuffle. They effectively gave one of Bottas's tyres to Russell, so they had to pit him again to try and get him the right tyres. And then with Bottas, they just had to have a slow stop and had to effectively put the tyres he came in on back on the car, basically. So Mercedes had a massive blunder then anyway. And then obviously he was fighting back, and he had the win taken away from him again, because he had the pace. He was pretty confident. He said in post-race interviews that he felt he could have closed up to Perez and overtaken him. Obviously, we don't know that for sure, because the gap was there, and we know Perez is no slouch at defending, so you never know. But he was on, he did a brilliant overtake on Bottas, flew by Stroll, flew by Ocon, and was well on his way to going after that race win for the second time in the race. And then it was taken away, and in the most cruel fashion as well, by a slow puncher, which inevitably was probably from the debris from his own Williams car driven by Jack Aiken. So that's just the way F1 is. That's where the cookie crumbles. This sport is very cruel. I've said that time and time again, actually, in videos like this. Even in the F1 game videos, I've made it a point to say this sport that we all love, it's unlike football. It's actually very much not a fairy tale sport. A lot of the times, the fairy tales don't happen in F1 when they maybe do a lot of the time in football. In F1, it's very cruel, and today was no different for George Russell. Obviously, though, on the other end of the spectrum, I am very happy for Sergio Perez. I can't lie, we did backseat driver for Veloce, and you'll see it on there. It was very tough for me to be happy and elated for Sergio Perez, because it was such a, punch to the gut for George Russell not to get a fairy tale win on his Mercedes debut. But it is amazing for Sergio Perez to get a race win, his first win, and Racing Point's first win. And it's actually unbelievable that this guy might not have a seat in Formula One next year, and that he's maybe already resting on having a sabbatical and coming back in 2022, which he deserves to come back for sure into Formula One, because his time is not up. He's still got so much to give in this sport, and it's so great. If this is to be a parting gift for a sabbatical for a year, it's a great gift for Sergio Sergio Perez, and you saw he was very, very emotional as Sergio, as Pierre Gasly maybe was at the Italian Grand Prix, of course. It's mega for him, and this has honestly been maybe one of his best seasons ever in terms of form of his life for Sergio Perez. And this race, I mean, he was last place, 18th place on lap 1. So to come back and win this, I mean, the entire race itself was an absolute incredible sight. Like, I need to lie down. Instead, I've come on here to record this video, but I am just so gutted for George Russell. But I think if you strip back the emotions of that race for him, the scenes of him, head back like that, basically crying in a sense, at what has occurred. I think if you look at the facts, Russell today has still done the job he needed to do, the job that people wanted him to do, which was to show that he is ready for that Mercedes seat, that when Bottas's time comes or Hamilton hangs it up early, surprisingly or whatever, he's ready. Like, when that seat opens up, he is ready for the Mercedes drive. He is ready to take that car and go out and, try and win races. And for me, and what is going to be the title of this video, and I know it's going to trigger some people that are Bottas fans maybe or whatnot, but for me, it is Valtteri Bottas' career is over. It is over. He will have a drive next year, I'm pretty sure. He's contracted for next season. I don't believe Mercedes are in any position to be able to actually pull Russell out of that Williams contract, because Williams have made it pretty clear that he is not available. They will be holding him to that contract. I mean, it was a miracle anyway that, it was a very nice gesture for Williams to even let him race in this race, because they could have been as stingy with this race as they were for the entirety of next year. So I'm sure Bottas has a seat next year, but surely now for 2022, it's curtains. It's curtains. Either Bottas is not getting re-signed and it's going to be Hamilton and Russell into the new era of Formula One with the new regulations, or it's a shock horror of Hamilton retires after next year and Russell comes in. I don't see that happening. I think, in my opinion, Lewis will carry on for 1 year into the new regulations just to see if he likes the formula and if he's even bothered to continue, because that's where Hamilton is as a driver. Pretty much he can leave on his own terms, I think. But with Russell, I think he is going to get a shot. So it's gutting for him. It's gutting for all of us who maybe wanted to see a great, resounding fairy tale debut for the lad. But the difference is, compared to maybe, Gasly winning a race, Perez winning this race, we know for certain, like, we don't know for sure what's going to happen, where Gasly's going to end up in the future, what's going to happen with Perez. I think you can say for certain Now, George Russell will have other opportunities, will have a future to not only win races, but go for a world championship. It would be a crime if it doesn't happen. And surely after this weekend, Merc can look at all the things and say that, yeah, he definitely, has done enough to out Bottas out of that seat, basically, eventually. Because even Toto said post-race, to quote, he didn't shine. Bottas did not shine this race, which is, very, not saying a lot, but maybe, less words sometimes are better in terms of a scathing review of he did not shine. George had a great start and covered him the entire time. Then that kerfuffle overtook him. And I know Bottas was on old tyres. That's not really his fault because that was Mercedes' own doing. But Russell still had to get the job done. And, that's really it, really. I still can't believe that race. I still can't believe it. Let me know what you guys thought of that, what you made of George Russell's debut. Do you agree with me or disagree with me that you think Bottas's career is effectively over? I know it's not over because he's still got that year, I believe, but I think now it's pretty much glued in that Russell will be going there in 2022, I'm pretty sure. I think Mercedes would be crazy not to sign him, even if it means having Hamilton pushed maybe more than Hamilton might want to in the team by Russell. I think it's got to happen because he was just operationally so slick. At the end, it was very clear from everyone, Bono, James, Vowles, Toto on the radio, very, very clear that Mercedes were just like, we're so sorry for what happened. And even Toto said it on Sky Live, that they fucked it, and then Sky obviously said you can't swear on TV, and Toto was like, yeah, but we did fuck it for him, because that was his win twice over, and it didn't end up one. But Toto said he's done a mega job, he can be happy, and all George had to say was was thanks because, yeah, I mean, take it on the chin. I'm sure he will. Obviously, George maybe has already built some character from, remember, that crash he had in the Williams car just earlier this season. That was character building already. So he's had 2 of these moments, which are just going to make him stronger. You know, when it comes to athletes especially, but just in life, you know, it's the things that knock you down that you come back from that make you stronger. It's the things that, you know, adversity and negativity that make you grow as a person, not only as an athlete as well, but for these guys, especially as athletes, they grow so much from moments like these. Just like maybe, you know, Leclerc has grown from mistakes that he's done, and vice versa, you know, Verstappen as well, and whatnot in the past. And, you know, it's early days for George. It's only his, you know, second year in Formula One. So it's early days still for him. And he's got time. He's young still. And as I said, the seat is there. So in my mind, that's it in terms of the Mercedes debate. I think we'll be seeing Russell in that car. But let me know if you disagree with that. Away from that, like I said, yeah, brilliant for Sergio Perez. I mean, you know, amazing scenes, crying on the podium. I still can't believe he might not have a seat next year. If we talk about that briefly with the Albon, you know, Red Bull situation, Albon P6, he said on the radio that the car was quick, just not raceable, and that will this, you know, is it, you know, Red Bull seemed to be so protective over Albon in the last 2 races, but now with the win with Perez, I don't know. You know, like he deserves to be here. He deserves to be in a Red Bull. Isn't that kind of an advertisement that he can win a race if you just give him the tools and give him the opportunity and give him the right scenario? I don't know. But Perez, to be honest, and I've said this to people that, you know, he seemed okay and content and kind of accepted that he might take a sabbatical, and he's said that he's already got offers for 2022. So maybe in a way this is just a nice parting gift to sit 1 year out and then come back and do bits again, because as I said, yeah, this has been a great season for Perez, and he's been out for obviously the 2 races with COVID. It's still been a great season for him, and this was honestly one of his best races. You know, he's been a master of doing this, of getting a podium out of nowhere in such weird circumstances. Usually it's for a P3 or P2. This time, amazing for the full bloody win. Yeah, mental race, mental. Ocon second, Stroll third, makes things very interesting for the finale in terms of now McLaren are very much on the back foot. They did the maximum they could. Lando had a penalty for changing components, so from the back of the grid, lap 1 up to P10, amazing start. Sainz maximised P4, they just didn't have too much pace today. Ricciardo P5, the same, didn't have that much pace, and Ocon and Stroll kind of lucked into it like with Perez, you know, with the where they were on track and, you know, with the Mercedes kerfuffle and whatnot. Yeah, in crazy rate. I really thought that could have gone either way. That could have been really exciting because of Russell winning, or it could have been quite a just dull Grand Prix because obviously it's F1, it's a Sakhir, flat-out circuit, kind of oval-style circuit. But in the end, yeah, what a day, what a day. A day that I need to now go lie down from, but for all the wrong reasons in a sense. But that's just how life is sometimes. And I'm sure we'll see Russell's name up in P1 sooner rather than later. So I know some people are going to be out there very, very gutted. I was as well. But now, to be honest, now that it's kind of, you know, the race has ended, I am happy for Perez. I'm happy overall for that crazy race we saw. And finally, Bottas's career is over. That's all I have to really say on the matter. So, guys, if you did enjoy the video, if you agree with what I've been saying, then let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button, and if you didn't, then if you disagree with me, if you're a Bottas fan, sound off in the comments because I would love to know how you disagree with me, because I think that was really a slam dunk, a knife in the chest, in the back, from Russell to Bottas. For how he carried himself as a character in the car and also outside the car, in terms of the way he's accepted what's happened here as well. Is a very mature head on young shoulders, I think is the phrase. But yeah, till the next one, the next final race. I can't believe it's over. This is it. Abu Dhabi next weekend. We still don't know what's going to happen to Hamilton if he's hopefully recovered from COVID. Obviously, I wouldn't wish anything on anyone like that, and you know, hopefully he does recover. But if he doesn't, it's going to be even crazier maybe to see Russell back in the car for a second time. Who knows? So we'll see at Abu Dhabi. But till then, guys, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.